What's going on, YouTube? You feel me? It's your boy Cam, the sports guy. And hey, man, I'm back with another video. I just had to catch up on these trades that went on in the beginning of the week. I seen them, we all seen them, but it's time to get my reaction on them. And starting with the trade on, I believe that was Monday to start the week. Yeah, it had to be on Monday to start the week. We saw Ja Morant finally get traded from the Memphis Grizzlies. Now we know this Ja Morant Memphis Grizzlies back and forth saga had been going on for some time. For some time. And it is finally put to an end as Ja Morant is now officially a Portland Trail Blazer. I did not expect for Ja Morant to get traded to the Portland Trail Blazers, but I mean, we never really heard about any teams that could have potentially went and got him. I mean, aside from the Heat before they got Giannis, we didn't really hear about a lot of teams, that could go out there and get Ja Morant. Now, we knew the Heat weren't going to be able to get him after getting Giannis Antetokounmpo because they already didn't have enough assets as is, and they scraped up the little assets that they did have and sent it over to sent it over to Milwaukee for Giannis. So they have no room to make any trades. Um, but nonetheless, Ja Morant ended up eventually going to the Portland Trail Blazers. And the Portland Trail Blazers, a lot of people were saying this is a setup for a trade to go get Jaylen Brown. I'm a Celtics fan, and it's not even just because I'm a Celtics fan. I'm still on the train of Jaylen Brown isn't getting traded. I feel like it would have happened by now, especially with Shams getting up and saying, something almost every day about what's been going on. Yeah, but a lot of people have been saying that. But, whether that is true or not, the Trailblazers are going to have to get rid of some of those guards that they have because you now have Dame, Ja, Shaden Sharp, Scoot Henderson, and Drew Holiday. What is that? 5 point guards on your roster? You got to get something. You gotta ship one of them off. Drew Holiday, if you ever want to come back to the Celtics, man, you feel we only had to get rid of you because of the CBA. But you want to come back, you know, hey, be my guest, be my guest. But nonetheless, man, the Trailblazers, all in all, I do feel like this is a good move for them. I did see reports of them saying that they are going to be starting Dame and Ja. Um, that's a good scoring backcourt, but defensively, yeah, that's not gonna be the best. But the Trailblazers, they are gonna be solid. They're coming off of a playoff appearance, their first playoff appearance in a while. Won what 2 games against the Spurs, or no, won 1 game against the Spurs. Stole a game on the road, but then couldn't win a game after that. Denny took a leap. Of course, they just re-signed Robert Williams yesterday. They have Donovan. So they got like a good, they got a good little young group. But yeah, they're gonna have to offload some of those ball handlers. Outside of the new owner being cheap, the Trailblazers, they got a good future, bro. If you know, you know about the Trailblazers owner. And if you didn't know, just to give you a long story short type of example, the new coach that they signed, yeah, they signed him to a team option. A head coach got signed to a team option contract. Anyways, bro, let's go to the trade from yesterday, the big trade that happened on yesterday, which was Tuesday, and that was Kawhi Leonard is officially a Toronto Raptor once again. We know about the legendary run that Kawhi Leonard had on the Toronto Raptors in 2019, in which he led the Raptors to their only NBA title in franchise history. Y'all know the iconic moments that he gave on and off the court. Of course, I don't even know where he's sitting. Like, y'all knew that moment. Y'all got the what it do, baby. Y'all got, hey, bro. Y'all got the dunk on Giannis. Y'all got the crazy shot, of course, against the Philadelphia 76ers. And then, of course, you got the NBA title. And I feel like this is a good move on both sides for the Raptors and the Clippers. If you're the Clippers, you continue to get younger. You just got Keaton Wagler from the draft, and you have Darius Garland, a young Darius Garland, and a young Brandon Ingram. on your team, and then you are able to get about 2 to 3 picks from trading off a 35-year-old Kawhi Leonard. That's a solid trade for you. If you're the Clippers, you finally are able to restart. You have finally offloaded the crazy contracts that you guys had on payroll with Paul George, James Harden, and now getting off of Kawhi Leonard's contract. Shout out to Kawhi Leonard. He had a great season last season. It wasn't like he knew that, he knew that this was the last year potentially with the Clippers, and he still went out there and balled out. He didn't BS him. He went out there and gave, one of his best years of his career. I mean, we saw how crazy he was going in the All-Star game. When Kawhi Leonard is healthy, he can still be very, very impactful. And, that shifts me over to what I think his impact is going to be with the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors also were winners of this trade as well, because, Kawhi Leonard, if he can go out there and play and be healthy as he did this season, obviously he's going to have his turns of missing games. But if he can go out there and give you the health and the production that he had this past season, in this next season with the Raptors, with Scotty Barnes and, the other young core that they have around them, they just had a high draft pick this year too. The Raptors, they're going to find themselves being an even more difficult out than they were this past postseason. They were one game away from making the second round of the NBA playoffs. They took the Cavs to the limit when many people thought, obviously it was a 4 versus 5 seed matchup, so it wasn't like we expected, the Cavs to go out there and sweep through the Raptors. But we definitely thought that the Cavs were going to, not spank them, but we expected them to handle the Raptors. They did not handle the Raptors. It was back and forth. They couldn't steal a game on the road. Only thing that kept the Raptors from making the second round was the fact that, they didn't have the home court advantage, because the home team won in every game in that series. Obviously, the Cavs would have won in 6 if RJ Barrett didn't hit that bank shot from the top of the key. But still, the Raptors were a very, very tough out. And now, like I said, you get RJ Barrett with Kawhi Leonard and with, Scotty Barnes and the entire young core. I can't think of the other young player right now. I'm blanking on him. I think his last name's like Murray or something. He's really good as well. And like I said, you just got a high draft pick. The Raptors are going to be a very, very tough out, and I feel like they will now be able, if Kawhi can play to his potential, they now go from just barely missing the second round to making the second round. But yeah, I feel like a lot of teams are trying to get better, man. The East is trying to stiffen up its competition. Everybody's seeing the Knicks win the championship, and a lot of teams are going out there saying like, hey, we believe that we can do that as well. And like I said, for the Raptors, they are trying to go out there and make sure that they can take a step up from last year. They now get another scorer. Because last season it seemed like the only guy that they had was Scotty Barnes, but now you have a Scotty Barnes and a Kawhi Leonard, who, if he plays his cards right and keeps himself refreshed for the playoffs, can end up being a really good shot taken on Kawhi at 35 years old. Hey man, I love free agency, bro. Free agency is one of my favorite times of the year, in any sport, especially NFL and NBA, because these players that you've been used to seeing on certain teams, they just more than likely won't be on those teams anymore once that contract comes up. But the free agency, I think, officially started either last night or 12 p.m. midnight today. So I'm very excited. My Celtics made some moves. I will be talking about that eventually. Also, the videos that I will be making, if I don't talk about it on YouTube, or if it doesn't get here on YouTube first, that means it's getting on my TikTok first. Same same name on the platform. It's Cam the Sports Guy here, so that means it's Cam the Sports Guy there on TikTok. Y'all make sure y'all follow me. Allow me to grow my presence and my following a little more. And I'm gonna just continue to drop these videos for y'all. Y'all make sure y'all sub. Like I said, it's either gonna be over here or over here. Y'all make sure y'all do that. And yeah, man, y'all make sure that y'all are tapping in with your boy, trying to hit 100 subs before August. or before the end of the summer. But 100 subs, that's just a sub goal. We just continuing to evolve each and every way we can. So after 100, you already know we just gonna continue to keep striving for bigger and better. But as always, y'all know what I'm gonna say. Y'all have a blessed one, and I'll see y'all in the next one.